It almost feels like happiness is this fleeting temporary thing, gone before we can even enjoy it. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if we could understand the root of joy and choose it again and again, no matter what life throws at us? Imagine waking up each day with a mindset of openness, seeing beauty in the simplest things, the rustling trees, the smile of a stranger, the clear blue sky. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? But what if I told you it doesn't have to be a dream? By making a few small but powerful mindset shifts, you can bring this experience into your everyday life. Stay with me, because today you'll see that life isn't supposed to be a constant series of struggles, but an opportunity to live with happiness every day. But to live with happiness, we must first stop resisting it. You must have said this phrase to yourself a million times: be realistic. Prepare for the worst. These nagging thoughts seem to never leave us alone. This kind of thinking becomes second nature, making life feel like a constant struggle, always bracing for the next hardship. We spend so much energy worrying about what might go wrong that we rarely appreciate what's already going right. This mindset of fear and doubt doesn't just affect our thoughts in the moment. It becomes a deeply ingrained habit that limits our potential for happiness. The truth is, we aren't naturally inclined to resist joy. This pattern is learned. From a young age, we're surrounded by people who've been conditioned to see life through a lens of struggle and disappointment. Elders often share their experiences of hardship, not to harm us, but because they themselves have internalized a mindset focused on preparing for the worst. Over time, we absorb these beliefs, and this shapes our entire outlook, making self-doubt a core part of our identity and leaving little room for genuine joy and self-love. And this self-perception shapes every experience we have. We wake up, and almost automatically our thoughts turn to worry. Did I say the wrong thing yesterday? Will I mess up at work today? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts become habitual, a constant background noise that chips away at our self-worth. But this is good news. These are just thoughts, not the truth. They're just patterns we've learned over time, either directly or through subtle conditioning. We believe that being hard on ourselves is somehow a sign of humility or a way to protect against disappointment. But in reality, this self-criticism only keeps us stuck in a cycle of fear, preventing us from stepping into our true potential. It's not that we want to doubt ourselves, but we've been so conditioned to expect the worst that it feels normal, even safe. But to gain power over any thought, you start with becoming aware of it. Start noticing when those negative thoughts pop up. Instead of accepting them as true, ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Often you'll find it's rooted in old beliefs that no longer reflect who you are or who you want to become. By questioning these thoughts, you begin to weaken their hold and make space for new, more loving beliefs. This is where self-worth comes in. Self-worth isn't about ignoring your flaws or pretending you're perfect. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion you'd offer a child. When you choose to approach yourself with care instead of judgment, you begin to build a new foundation of self-love. From this place, everything changes. Instead of always seeing happiness as a fleeting thing, you start to understand that it always resides within you. But building a strong sense of self-worth is about more than just positive thinking. It's about making intentional choices in your daily life. It's about prioritizing yourself. It's about letting go of things, people, and situations that don't serve your sense of peace and self-worth. Think, are the people in your life that uplift you, or are they reinforcing self-doubt? Choosing friendships and connections that encourage happiness is crucial. Look for people who support your growth, who listen without judgment, and who see your potential even when you can't. Letting go of relationships that drain you or make you feel less worthy is a leap towards happiness. Another thing we do is we enter situations bracing for the worst, expecting disappointment or sadness. This mindset completely limits our experiences and blocks out any chance of embracing joy. Instead, try shifting your expectations. Approach each interaction with the belief that something positive can come from it. Give yourself permission to expect joy and connection rather than assuming the worst. Lastly, make self-care a priority, not a luxury. Practicing gratitude, making time for activities that nourish your soul, and setting healthy boundaries are all small yet powerful ways to show yourself that you matter. When you start making these intentional choices, you send a clear message to yourself. I am worthy of love, happiness, and respect. Because if you don't prioritize your own well-being, who will? True alignment with happiness begins with a shift in our outlook. When we elevate our mindset from one of the self-doubt to self-care, we naturally raise our energy and start to attract more happiness into our lives. It's about deepening the connection we have with ourselves and choosing to operate from a place of genuine internal joy. Joy that isn't fleeting but lasting. Changing our mindset is a journey, not a quick fix. It's important to remember that this transformation won't happen overnight. It requires small, consistent actions that build over time. These small shifts may seem insignificant at first, but they create a powerful ripple effect. An effect that spreads out infinitely, only to come back to you bringing more happiness. And yes, I know, stepping into the unknown can feel scary. That's normal. Fear often arises when we're about to make meaningful change, but remember, every small effort you make is a step towards a more fulfilling, joyful life. It's okay to feel fear. It's a sign you're growing. Trust that these tiny shifts are moving you closer to the life which you have always wanted to live. Remember that we're not here just to suffer through life. That our true purpose is to grow, to experience joy, and to love deeply. It's time to release the limiting beliefs that life is just a series of struggles. Instead, embrace the idea that you deserve a life filled with happiness. You are worthy of joy, not just as a rare exception, but as a regular part of your everyday experience. We have the power to leave behind the pain of the past and choose a future rooted in self-love and fulfillment. Start small. Practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. And release the habit of clinging to sadness. So here's your challenge. Make one intentional choice today that prioritizes your happiness. Whether it's taking a moment for gratitude, letting go of a limiting belief, or simply allowing yourself to feel joy without guilt. Remember, the journey to a life of inner peace begins with a single conscious step. Choose joy today and watch how your life begins to change. If you resonate with the idea of accepting happiness and rejecting self-doubt in your life, watch our video on the few limiting beliefs that hold you back. These are so sneaky that you rarely recognize them at all. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video to spread the message of self-love and growth with your loved ones. And always remember, Habitual Harmony is here to help you live a life filled with self-love, a life full of abundant happiness.